The recipe in Dave Hughes' American Fly Tying Manual calls for this pheasant tail soft hackle to be tied on a 10 to 16 size hook. I'm using a 14 brown thread. It is a pheasant tail, so I am using the fibers from a pheasant tail for both the tail and the body. I will be putting a gold wire rib over the body, and instead of the partridge that the recipe calls for the soft hackle, I am going to be tying it with a pheasant soft hackle. It's a feather off of the shoulder from the pheasant. So lay down brown thread, tie in the tail about the length of the hook shank, tie in a gold wire. This is 0.2 millimeter wire. The recipe just calls for fine wire. This is one of 10 different soft hackle patterns that I tied in batches of 10 for 100 flies for an organization called Tie-A-Thon.org. For the body, I am using 2 more fibers of that tail. This one I'm going to tie in so that I can clip out the tips of the fibers. They're fairly delicate and are easily break off when I wrap. Tie-A-Thon.org is an organization that solicits flies from tyers to be donated to charitable organizations. One of the organizations this year is the Mayflower Project, which does therapy fishing with foster kids. I'll leave information about Fly-A-Thon in the description below, which you can access if you are interested in tying for them and donating. I did put a couple of half hitches are helpful, I guess, on that thread to keep it stable as I'm wrapping, but I did use a rotary vise to wrap those fibers from the feather. You don't have to use a rotary, just wrap them. I find it's easier just to hang on to them and wrap with the rotary device. I'm going to wrap the wire in spiraling wraps over the top of the feather fiber body, and then tie that wire in. Just kind of standardized with 3 wraps over the top and 2 or 3 underneath. Now if you pull down on the thread and bend that wire back and forth and helicopter it, eventually it does weaken and break off. For the soft hackle on it, I am using feather from pheasant. If I grab the tip with the hackle pliers, I can pull back on those and separate out that tip. And then tie it in by that tip. Enough wrap so it's not going to pull itself out. Trim out the tip. I have found that this pheasant feather doesn't like to curve back as well as the partridge does for the soft hackle, but pull it back and wrap it in. I can kind of make it do what I want it to do. Wrap it till I'm out of fibers on that stem. Wrap the stem in. I can let go of the stem with the clip, from the clip. Just pull everything back and wrap up over the stem for the head. Then I can pull that stem out, and if it cooperates, I can just kind of wiggle that and snap it out of there. Otherwise, I'll have to go in and snip it out with the scissors. I like it if it'll snap out better because it gives me a cleaner knot. But this one is being stubborn. There we go. And I'll put a whip finish on that, and then some UV just to hold that knot in place. Pheasant tail, soft hackle, where I replaced the partridge soft hackle with the shoulder feather from the pheasant.